a.m. I'm George Norrie. Richard, are you going to go see the Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull movie when it comes out?
Oh, I certainly will, George. In fact, I'm looking forward to it. And there are some depictions that I'm sure will take place in there that are somewhat akin to some of the experiences I've specifically had in bringing the skull out into this world. The trafficking in antiquities and the contact, who I had to work with, who we had to go through. I mean, if you think Nazis are gone, believe me, they are not. There are grave robbers. The Nazi realm is very strong. They're still moving antiquities up into the United States. There's every liar, cheat, crook, thief, the narco traffickers. All of these are involved with the movement of these ancient artifacts. And the movie depiction of some of the ones who are after the crystal skulls actually is not at all far from the truth. The fact of the matter is, I think the truth is probably even more horrifying, which I will be writing about, and I would love to discuss also. The indigenous peoples have had a horrible time in trying to preserve a fabric, a society, so that they can move these forwards. Today, the Mayans, they're threatened by starvation and all of its attendant diseases. They've been basically relegated to being scavengers. And there are those that have taken advantage of the ancient artifacts. And those systems of plunder are still very, very strong.
The Mayan calendar, the earth changes. Let's get into that. We are seeing right now, Richard, incredible changes on this planet. I mean, tornadoes that are horrendous. I've been in 2 earthquakes in the St. Louis area in less than a month. It's bizarre. What's happening? How does that tie into the Mayan calendar? How does it tie into the crystal skull?
Okay. What I'd like to do, George, is go back about 30 years, and there was a time when I was viewing in the skull a image, a real clear visual of our galaxy, of our Milky Way. And Francesco was pointing out to me where we are out on the galactic spiral, and as the galactic spin is taking place, the zone that we're coming into now, which I understand occurs approximately every 36,000 years. Now, when we're coming into this zone, which we have now entered, there are things that are occurring that are affecting our solar system, that are affecting our sun. And as it was pointed out to me, the earth changes that are going to be occurring that we already see underway. Yes, you've experienced those earthquakes. There's been several hundred of them in the Reno area just within the last few days.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing weather changes that are going to lead to famine in some parts of the planet. We're seeing a melting taking place of the polar ice caps. All of these things are leading to temperature variations. We are going to see some axis and polar shifts occur. These geophysical changes that we don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind's blowing out here today. And we have to prepare for what is the obvious right here in front of us. Now, Francesco said that these changes were going to occur because of where we are, George, in the galactic spiral, in the galactic spin. Now, this world that we're talking about, that we're in right now, this is the end of what is called the fourth world. And that fourth world is a time of separation. It's a time when it ends, there is what we would call a quickening is going to occur, when everything speeds up. That's what the Mayans said it was going to be. And it's all because of where we are on the galactic spin right now. Oh, by the way, it was also pointed out that it was in this part of the galactic spin where, yes, these changes would occur, but it's also where stargates were going to open. And we should anticipate we're going to have a lot of what I call non-local traffic is occurring. They are here to assist us, although there is that thing of thou shalt not interfere, but we're really not going to be allowed to be lost as a civilization. No. But where we are in the galactic spin right now, and I saw it right there in the crystal, we have a big time of change coming up.
Well, they're happening, they're rolling, and the date now, December 21st, 2012, it's a Friday night. I'm putting together a whole group of people that are going to be our guests that special night. I've always thought, Richard, that it could also be some kind of celestial event, that something could happen with the sun. Other people believe that it could be a moment of enlightenment. Some other people think we're going to get plastered by an asteroid, or we're going to have major pole shifts. I mean, are all these possible, too?
Well, I think some of them are certainly possible. What I understand and what was relayed to me, what I was able to see, and what I was told by the Mayan shaman, is that, yes, these earth changes that are going to occur. George, you mentioned the changes within the sun. Now, that is a for sure. In fact, those changes are occurring right now. We can take a look at the sun cycles. They're actually overlapping each other. And sun cycle changes, those have a big impact to us here on planet Earth. It affects our weather patterns, for example. And where we are in our galaxy, on that galactic spin, we should anticipate there's going to be some, very likely there's going to be some certainly magnetic shifts taking place. Those are already being recorded. I don't see, and I did ask specifically if there would be any asteroid hits. No, that's not going to occur. And that was very specific. That's not going to be a problem.
You mean around that time period?
Around that time, yeah. Right. Okay. And it is going to be a time of what we'll call illumination. And what that is that the old cycle is going to end. And that has to do with where we're located, where our specific physical presence is right now. And we're going to have to take advantage. For example, it's not going to be a time to rely upon the transfer of fossil fuels, although I don't believe they're fossils at all. But there's going to be some real interruptions that are going to take place in the movement, in the flow of oil, for example. And we better be prepared to provide power, take advantage of solar, take advantage of wind. I can certainly tell you we have some what we'll call over unity opportunities, that information has been conveyed to us. We do have, not just within our grasp, but we actually have the opportunity to generate our power using new sources. One thing that was pointed out, and this was amazing coming from a shaman, is that we should be very, very careful and protect ourselves from a release of radioactivity that could take place if any of these earth changes occur where there's a nuclear plant. That was something that was conveyed to me, and we should be very, very cautious of that. And where we have our nuclear plants that are in earthquake zones, we should heed we should heed what could possibly happen there and protect ourselves. Make sure we have a way to shut those things down so that they don't run away.
Is this prophecy also, what you're telling us?
Pardon me, I'm sorry?
Is it prophecy, what you're telling us?
Most certainly it is. And this is part of prophecy. You see, and everything I'm speaking of